Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface on the beta for Warlords of Draenor, and behind me are a group of, well, different people, shall we say, and we'll get to them in a moment. Factions in the Warlord of Draenor have had a little bit of a reworking this time round, and I am here in Nagrand pretty much slap bang in the centre if we're including the High Maul raid as part of it. So if I enter, we have a bunch of mental goblins that are going by the title of the Steamwheedle Preservation Society. Now, don't get too panicky, folks. People who are doing Steamwheedle cartel stuff, you're not going to lose rep. It doesn't matter. It doesn't involve these guys. These guys are looking for Gorian artifact fragments and High Maul relics, and they're also looking for epic drops specifically for them that come from rares around the area too. And this is actually how you gain reputation with them. You hand it in. This is why they all have the blue question marks. You find these fragments, you simply go to this area and you hand them in and you get a certain amount of rep. Now, do recall, I am a human being. I'm talking in the World of Warcraft. I'm not totally sure in real life. And therefore, I am getting a reputation buff. So I'm actually getting 275 reputation per 20 fragments that I'm handing in here. So that's pretty decent. That's okay. Now, if I was to hand in a rare one, which is one of the High Maul relics, there we go. I click that, and there's only just needs one of those, so each one contributes 385. With, of course, my human modifier. So that's pretty good. So you tend to go through this rep relatively quickly. Now you might say, how did you get these items then, Az? Where did you find all these goodies scattered around the place? Well, they're all in Nagrand. Or, that's actually a little bit of a fib, the vast majority of them are in Nagrand. You can kill any creature here whatsoever, and the likelihood is they may drop some fragments. You can also find some caches of treasure scattered around the place as well, and they could have not only fragments, but they could also have some of the High Maul relics, the more difficult ones to find. And then, as previously mentioned, the rare creatures are dropping the epic item. You hand that in, and I'm getting 550. So the time now is 12:18, and I'm going to head off out into Nagrand and do a little bit of farming. And I'm going to see how much I can come back with in a short amount of time. Now, a word to the wise here, folks. The non-elite creatures in Nagrand, if you're maximum level, are pretty easy to cope with. The elites are a lot tougher. This elite's got 1 million health, pretty much. You might think that's not a colossal amount, but do take into consideration the item squish. Although I've got 300k health, my damage is significantly more squished down. The health pools haven't been squished huge amounts, but the damages have. So look, I'm doing like 4k, 5k, 3k, 2k. It took me a heck of a long time just to get rid of this Iron Hide bull. But when you do manage to dispatch them, finally, they'll probably drop in the region of, well, I'd say 3 to 5 of the tokens. This one goes right in the mean and actually hit 4 there. So it wasn't too bad for the elites there. But the non-elites, they can drop none, they can drop 1, they can drop 2, they can drop 3. I haven't seen any more than 3 on a non-elite. Remember, a stack of 20 is required to get the first amounts of rep. And remember those chests I was talking about earlier? Well, here is one of them, a High Maul reliquary. And inside, I've got one High Maul relic, which will hand in for what, 375 rep? And 7 of the Gorian artifact fragments, which is just over a third required to get to the 20 to hand in for a good, decent amount. What, 275 as a human being anyway. Remember, I'm taking the modifiers into consideration. So that chest was a pretty decent haul. Now, I wandered around a bit to try and find a rare creature. Eventually, I did find one. I found Thectalon, And I do eventually defeat this, but it kept bugging out. Once my tank pet died, it would just reset. It would just start to evade and reset. So I think there's some bugs with the creatures here that do need to be fixed before it goes out on live. But, as mentioned, it took a while. I did manage eventually to get it down by putting myself in melee range at all times, just like my tank. There you go. Evades and off it flies. What a git. Anywho, there was a fair bit of dicking around with that rare, so I'm probably going to take about 10 minutes or so off the timer. So I was probably out for around about 15 to 20 minutes tops. And I came back with 1 epic, 1 Highmore relic, and 38 fragments, because I already had 17 when I left. So that's not too bad for 15 minutes work, really. And of course, things like the rare creatures are only going to be easier to defeat when more people join in. So if there are a few farmers out there, you might actually want to group up together and form some sort of team, and hopefully that will enable you to get through this reputation relatively quickly. Because if you think about it, this looks like it's going to be a faction that could be got to Exalted in not that much time. You know? Anywho, once you've done what you needed to do, and if you want to purchase anything from these guys, then you've got to go to your faction hub in Ashran. Boo. With which to do so. For the Alliance, it's in the Town Hall. For the Horde, obviously, it'll be in your whatever you class as the Town Hall. And I also mentioned that most of the items could be got through Nagran farming, but you can also get some items as rewards from sending your followers out on missions in your garrison too. So here is the Quartermaster. I thought we'd have a little look at what they have on offer. We have a Steamwheedle Elixir. Now what that does is it gives the chance to proc fire damage on a mob, also increases your movement speed by 5%, lasts for 30 minutes, but can only be used in Nagrand. We then have a pet that you can pick up Revered, 950 gold, 2,000 Apexis crystals. A mount, 4,750 gold, 5,000 Apexis crystals. That's at Exalted. We've got a follower that can be picked up at Revered. The hot potato from Honoured. And then we've got another pet, Tabard, and then we've got a trinket. I think that trinket, I don't know how good that's going to be. 615, I think that's going to be redundant in no time, because 615 is the item level from dungeons. So I feel that trinket is probably not particularly worth the value. You might as well just go and get something from a dungeon. So that should probably be up. Blizzard, honestly, that trinket needs to be made in Epic and needs to be upped, and it probably needs to be put to Exalted or something. But there we go. This Steamwheedle Preservation Society. Bit of a strange way to get rep. Yes, it's grindy, but at the same time, you can get decent rewards. When I killed that rare, by the way, it dropped a bag, and inside the bag it had something called complicated wood, which I could sell for a vendor for 380 gold, as well also as one of those leveling up elixirs. So you never know. But there we go. I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media. Links are down below. Also follow me on Twitch for live streaming, and I shall be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye bye.